Hey everybody, what's up? My name is AussieBrony, and today I'll be continuing the story I'm currently reading, The Changeling and the Pony. This story is by the Nine-Tard. If you want to read this yourself, you can. The Nine-Tard is his name, or her, I'm not really sure. It's not a very um obvious name to which gender, I don't know. Anyway, that's what their name is on fanfiction.net. So if you want to check the story out yourself, you can. Um, so yeah. Um, I don't really think there's anything else to say, so I'll get into it. So yeah, I'm gonna start the recording of me reading it now. Darkhorn recoiled away from the angry expressions they gave him. Applejack pulled Applebloom away from his side. Get away from him! Ramberdash was the first to act violently, zooming up and ramming into him. He had no time to react before she pinned him to his chest, her hooves to his back. Changeling! She yelled. You tricked us. You were a monster the whole time, and now you took her away. What have you done to her, you horrible thing? Ramberdash, please, Rarity yelled frantically over her friend's shout. This isn't going to help anything. You know what they're capable of, Rarity. Twilight stood next to Dash, facing her. Pinkie Pie gave an uncharacteristic frown. But it doesn't make sense. He's our new friend, a part of the group. Why would he lie about this? Why would he lie about the Queen being mad at him? She looked down to the trapped changeling underneath Rainbow Dash's hooves, rather panic-looking. I'm actually reading this directly after the last chapter, so it's actually almost 2 o'clock in the morning now, so still quite tired. Well, not really tired, but whatever. Where am I? Where? With short breaths, she asked, How could you do this? Why did you trick us? I thought we were friends. That doesn't really seem like Pinkie Pie. I guess she's probably like, oh yeah. She started to sniffing and began to sob, which quickly turned from little hiccups to very loud boring and blur. What's that word? I don't know what that word is. Applejack was quiet, staring at him with a determined glare, protectively standing in front of a frightened and confused Applebloom. The fanged creature's gaze dropped, feeling ashamed as their pained emotions welled all around him. He could feel them all: fear, pain, betrayal, sadness, agony, hatred, all directed towards him. The only reason it didn't affect him so directly was because he was too devastated to notice. It wasn't fully there. And it wasn't fully there. There was still something else. A piece of friendship and trust they had built up was holding. Playing on it, he snarled, If you hate me... No, wait. If you hate me, fine. If you want to run me out of Ponyville, okay. Wait. No. Getting into position, he managed to throw Ramberdash off and pin what am I reading? And pin her down on her own chest with her hooves, but eased up. He was so much stronger than her and could easily break a bone, something he didn't want to do. As painful as it would be to get chased away from the very ponies I called my friends, I could accept that. But now's not. But now it's not important. The changeling stared at them with determination. I'm sorry I tricked you all. It wasn't supposed to be this way. Just everything got so messed up. I never even wanted friends. I just wanted revenge, but you all changed me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't hurt anyone anymore. Well, we were supposed to break it to you all together that I was a changeling. We just couldn't find the right time. But now it all doesn't matter. Because Fluttershy is in danger. If we don't stop my mother, I fear what fate could await her. Why, brother? Wait, what? Oh, bother. Why bother? Twilight asked, furious. Why worry so much about her or us when you're just another what, Twilight? He interrupted. Another one of them? Another monster? Another freak? Another changeling? If I really was a changeling still bent on destroying you all, I would do it right now. If I really was evil, I'd snap Rainbow Dash's wing off. He said, making the Pegasus underneath him squirm. Even after everything I've said or done with you guys, if you really think I'd still do that, then... He hopped off her and backed away. Rainbow Dash wiggling to her feet and backing against the rest of the group, confused. Then, really don't know me after all. He turned away from them, saying, I'm going after her. If you guys want to get rid of me, then fine. But do it after Fluttershy's safe. I'm not going to let her get hurt. He looked back. I'm sorry I tricked you all. And I'm sorry you had to find out like this. But I'm trying a ton here. Wait, I don't know. Please, help me find her. They were quiet, looking to each other as if they were unsure he was being truthful. Finally, Twilight said, Why does she mean this much to you, Darkhorn? He gave a small bow with his head. I'm in love with her. They all stared back at him in silence, unsure of what to say. He read their expressions, and all he could see was they were in deep thought. Applejack finally took a step forward, her sister looking up at her. Applejack? Don't worry about me, hun. She ruffled her hair. I'll be fine. She walked up next to him. Look, Changer Duckhorn. I don't know how long it took it'll take till I can trust you again. But if you wanted to hurt us, you would have done it a long time ago. So I believe you, and I'll help. He gave the orange pony a toothy smile. Thank you. She looked to the others. What about ya? You coming to save our friend, are you? If Applejack believes you, then I do too. Rarity walked next to them. Even if she wasn't always the best with hygiene. Why is there... Why is there speech thing, my Jiggy Bobs? Underscore, I think, I don't know. Even if she wasn't always the best with hygiene, she always had good judgment and character. Applejack stuck her... Oh, I see, that's Rarity talking. Applejack stuck her tongue out at the white unicorn, to which she sneered. Besides, you've been very helpful to me. Ah, what the hey. Pinkie Pie suddenly perked up, the tears gone immediately as if they'd vanished into thin air. Part of being friends is to learn and forget each other. You were nice to me, and you decided to hang with us instead of kill us. Sounds like something Pinkie could say, actually. We are friends, right? The changeling nodded to her. Sure, Pinkie. It's the only reason I've suffered through all those awful cupcakes. Yay! She yelled. Hop. Yay! She yelled, hopping up next to the group. If it would save Fluttershy, I'll go for it. Rainbow began to smile. Besides, pretty cool how you were able to disguise yourself for so long, and best me too. When she walked up to them, he awkwardly said, "Yeah, well, you bested me before. Gave me a pretty good kick in the head when we first met. Knocked me out clean." "Oh, that was you?" she laughed. "Man, I spent a week bragging about that." uh, lol. He was relieved she seemed more eager about his lie than before. He didn't want to lose consciousness again. The only one of the five not with him was Twilight. He was still silent in thought. After a few seconds of awkward silence passed, Rarity said, "Twilight, darling, we all know how you feel about changelings. With what happened to you with your brother." She looked up at them with angry purple eyes, but said nothing. Applejack continued for her, "But you gotta put that aside for now, 'cause our friend's in trouble. Please understand." Still silent, Darkhorn took a step towards her. "I'm not asking for your forgiveness from any of you, Twilight. I'm not asking for your acceptance. You know what I'm trying to say. As much as I want it. All I want is to help, so we can rescue Fluttershy. She means a lot to me, but I can't imagine how much she means to you all, and to all of you. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Not just for the lies, but for Canterlot. I really am. Please help me." She stood there, digging her hooves into the dirt, and closed her eyes, holding in her rage. She took a deep breath, and let it leave her, finally saying in an even tone, damn it. Damn it! Ah, she stood there. Oh wait, I already said that. Finally saying in an even tone, "You really do love her?" "Yes," he nodded. As strange or unbelievable as that is to you or me, I realize that I do, Twilight." Letting out another long breath, Twilight opened her eyes to look back at him, to look back at his icy blue blank one. What I take it she's talking about his eyes or something. She didn't look upon him with great detest, but of slight forgiveness. Anger was still laced, but he knew she was starting to understand. If Fluttershy accepted him, maybe she could try. "All right," she stomped her hoof. "Let's go save her." The changeling eagerly nodded and turned around. "Quickly! If there's anywhere she would have taken Fluttershy, it would be the woods." I hear creepy noises outside the window. Where was I? Oh yeah. He fluttered his insect wings and lifted himself off the ground, knowing he could go faster in the air on the ground. "Follow me." He flew off with the five mares galloping close behind. Appleburn was left alone, confused more than anything. Bye? I could just imagine Michelle actually saying that. Oh wow, that's funny. If you don't actually know, for some reason Michelle is actually the voice actor of Apple Bloom and the singing voice of Sweetie Belle. The more you know if you didn't know that. It wasn't long before they reached the brim of the Everfree forest. Hovering in the air, he turned to them. "I can sense the hive deep in these woods. Now look, this is going to be a challenge, and if it doesn't go well, I can't guarantee we'll come back." The mares looked at him, worry on their face. "But like I told my mother, I'm going to protect you all as best I can. I'm not going to let her hurt any pony as long as I'm standing." But you're flying, Pinkie pointed out, making him do a face. He had to admit, though, he had missed flying with these bugwigs and wings. It was kind of fun. Twilight stepped forward. Some of my magic might be able to help us against hers, but I don't know how well. Be ready, girls. I don't know if you're actually able to hear me because I'm talking a bit lower than normal because I don't really want to wake my parents. Sure, they're on the other side of the house, but there's not really anything stopping the noise. So they nodded back, determined. They had gone on several adventures together, and that's how this one would be done. Together. Darkhorn landed in front of them, and sped into the forest with them behind, knowing he wouldn't be able to fly in the tangled mass of trees. Something stood up, something to keep in mind, as the hive won't be able either. They ran deeper and deeper into the forest. Despite it being a cloudy afternoon, the canopy of the thickening forest trees was closing in, creating a thick blanket. I think that's supposed to be thick, creating a thick blanket of darkness over them. It soon got so dark Twilight had to make him a light spell to show the way. He didn't need it though. Changelings can see in the dark. Ponies couldn't, so she kept in the back with the others while they followed close behind him. After nearly a half hour of travelling through the woods, Darkhorn suddenly stopped running. The girls nearly ran into him and practically collapsed against each other. Twilight walked up next to him, her horn with the light spell shining brightly. What's wrong? I can smell them. They're so close. Turn out your light, Twi. She hesitated briefly, not being too fond of the dark, but nevertheless she let her horn dim until the light was swallowed up by the darkness altogether. Once she did, a green glow he knew so well showed through the trees ahead, shining through the spaces between the trunks in the darkness. The light illuminated them, giving them a greenish look and barely showing them in the darkness. The glow being their only light source now, Twilight jumped when she heard a growl from the changeling next to her. They're there. Cautiously, with him in front, the group travelled through the trees to what appeared to be a large clearing between the trees. The glow was emitted all around from what appeared to be green cocoons or eggs of some sort, looking very much like large insect eggs. They were attached to the trees and the ground, covering most of the area. Then, right in the centre, at the top, was one single large one, hanging from some sturdy branches. Upon closer inspection, Darkhorn realised in horror there was an unconscious Fluttershy trapped within. It was much like how Princess Celestia was trapped back in Canterlot. It wasn't long before the others took notice and reeled back in shock. Rarity gagged a little. Ew! What on earth is she doing in there? The Queen put her in there for more than just restriction, the changeling hissed, fury in her voice. The pods do more than just hold our young. When a regular pony is trapped inside, they'll go through don't know what that is, metamorphosis that turns them into one of us, hummed a feminine voice from the darkness of the green light. The changeling queen walked before the ponies, sneering down at them with a cold look in her eyes. Like my home? It's not much, but it's the most I could do ever since the wedding incident. Other changelings gathered about her side. One in particular he recognized, dressed in similar armor he used to wear. "Why?" he shouted at the changelings. The creatures avoided his gaze and muttered, "You betrayed us, brother. We have no choice but to follow our queen." The changeling's voice was a few octaves higher, making it obvious that it was female. One of his closest sisters, in fact, since they were both born to be royal guards for their mother. Even though it was predictable, her betrayal did sting, taking his focus off his brood sister. He turned his gaze back to their queen, snarling. Rapidash got bold enough to step forward. "Let Fluttershy go. She didn't do anything." "Right," Darkhorn agreed. "She and these ponies have nothing to do with this. This is a family spat." "No." Chrysalis circled them, like a predator to prey. "You think this is just over you, my disobedient son? This is a far more delicious revenge than I have been planning for a while. Instead of destroying Equestria's saviors, I thought why not turn them into one of our own for the world to look down on. That way, they'll be alive and everyone will stare in horror as their precious guardians help the hive take over and destroy everything." She stopped walking and stood before Twilight. "To be honest, I was going to start with you." She pushed her in the chest with her hoof, "just to get back at your pathetic brother for ruining my scheme. You were also the one who exposed me in the first place, so I figured I'd just go to the source." Her smile became devious. "But then there was you, Darkhorn. How have you let yourself be tamed this comically?" She leered, looking over to him. "How disrespectful and outrageous you were. As if you were a spoiled child with a new toy you refused to let go of. You refused to let her go, claiming how much you love her, when you know full well we don't feel love. We devour it." She bent down towards his head, saying in a mocking voice, "Still, you foolishly accepted this delusion, and turn your back on your hive, your family. An act of treason cannot go unpunished. So like the spoiled child you were, I had to take your toy away." He growled and snapped his teeth at her. "Then just take me and let them go." "I don't think so," she laughed. "They will make fine soldiers in the Changeling army. Besides, it's so much funner to watch you squirm." The changelings began to surround the group, the ponies behind him starting to huddle together. He bit his lip, deciding to try another tactic. "Brothers, sisters, listen to me," he called out to the other changelings. "We don't have to fight. I'm sure dear old mother hasn't told you, but there's another way. We don't have to drain positive emotions from others, but instead share it. All we have to do is share the love that binds our family and friendship, and we can survive. We don't have to hunt. We don't have to drain others into husks." He turns in a circle, speaking to them all. "We can be good. We can be their allies and not their enemies. In a few years, no one will have to hate us or fear us anymore." With the others, while the others were hesitating, he just realized how tired they all looked. In fact, he could sense they were fearful and emotionally starved to a state of weakness like he was when he attacked Fluttershy. They were all desperate. The Queen's method of attacking, tricking, and draining wouldn't work when they were in such shambles. It took too long, and it was harder to do now that they were scattered in the forest in small numbers. His hive was starving to death. I can sense your desperation. You're all dying and you know it. He looked back to his mother, pleading now. My queen, please hear me this time. The love you have for your hive, the love we siblings share for each other, we can feed off it, because it's freely given. It won't drain and kill us. You have to try. Silence, she shouted at him. You do not order me, and I refuse to permit us to feed this way, the way of a traitorous child. As for love, you know my heart has no such room, not even for the hive. Some changelings, including Darkhorn, were shocked. How could their own mother say that? Even as a changeling, there must have been some amount of empathy towards the hive, but she just flat out said that she didn't care for them, for creatures that were supposed to not feel love, that hurt like nothing else. Holding back tears, emotions starting to get the best of him, he begged, "But if you don't, the hive will die." "Then so be it," she stomped her two front hooves before them. "If that's what it takes to not betray our pride, then the hive will starve with me." Once again shock hit the changeling brood as they became hesitant, not sure what to think now. He knew that convincing his siblings would take too long, and Fluttershy needed them now. Knowing that he had no other choice, he hissed, "Fight me." The queen raised an eyebrow at him, so he got into a fighting stance. "I said fight me. I will fight for their freedom." She cocked her head. "And your imprisonment? You will be severely punished." The changeling didn't hesitate. "Yes. If you win, you get us all. If I win, they go, but I stay. Neither of us use magic, only a physical fight. Deal, mother?" Seeing not much of a downside except a scuffle, she nodded in acceptance and walked to the edge of the clearing to get a running start. While she moved, Applejack nudged the changeling. "Have you flipped your lid? You can't fight her alone. It's too dangerous." "I know what I'm doing," he muttered. Twilight protested. "No. Even if you win, you'll be trapped here. It's a price I'm not willing to pay. You could get killed." "This is my fight, Twilight. I got myself into this mess ever since I attacked Fluttershy in the woods." He pulled away from them. "Stay out of it. And tell her I'm sorry. This is my fight." I just read that. Yeah. With that, he walked from the group into the clearing and faced Chrysalis. She smiled down at him, ready to fight, and they both started to circle each other. The other changelings kept their distance, and the mares only watched. Twilight looked on hopeless. "What do we do?" Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. That is actually almost everything left in the story. There's not many. There's only 15 chapters, and it's getting quite I can't talk. It's getting quite awesome at the end. So yeah, this is yeah. Once again, this story was The Changeling and the Pony by the Nine Tard on fanfiction.net. If you want to read it yourself, you can go look at it. This is the only pony related story they've done. But if you want to go look at their other 3 stories, I haven't personally looked at them, but if you want, you can. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and if you want, that is. Starting to sound like Fluttershy. If that's okay with you. um, so yeah. Go if you want to vote on what the next story I read will be. So far, it's one to past sins and nothing for any others. Go back to, I don't know what episode it was. Hold on. I believe it was 9 or something. I don't know. It was an earlier episode. You're just gonna have to look because I can't remember. And vote and just read the description of that episode and vote going by what it says. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. See you later, every pony. I'll be uploading the rest of these chapters every day, I hope. So yeah, see you later.